Hey guys, Turnbull here with your This Time Wednesday video. Today we are talking about the cosine ratio. This is the third and final trigonometry ratio. Make sure you check out the activity on page 12. It's similar to the activities you did for sine and for tangent. Make sure you do that before you continue on with this video. So we are just going to go through it the same way that we went through the other ratios. So this is the third and final ratio. So far we've talked about sine, okay, which was sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. And we've talked about tangent, which was tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. And the last one here is cosine. And cosine is cosine theta equals adjacent length over the hypotenuse. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's get into some practice. Write the trigonometric ratio for cosine of angle N and the cosine of angle Q. So first, I'm just going to write these out, cosine N and cosine Q. So N, again, cosine is CA. So cosine theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So angle N is here. The adjacent side to N that's connected that is not the hypotenuse is 12. And the hypotenuse is 13. For cosine of Q, the side that is adjacent that is not the hypotenuse is 5. And the hypotenuse, again, is 13. Now, when we put these into our calculator to get a decimal to 4 decimal places, we can go 12 divided by 13. We get 0.9231. 0.9231. And for the other one, 5 divided by 13, we get 0.3846. And that's all it's asking you to do when it asks you to write the trigonometric ratio as a fraction. So that's what we did first. And then as a decimal to 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. For example 2, it asks us to calculate the following ratios for the given reference angle. So here we're going to have to actually use our trigonometry function. So again, on the Microsoft calculator, you have to put the number in first and hit the cosine button. And it tells us 0.9336. And we'll keep the 4 decimal places, just because that's what we were using before. So 0.9336 is the calculation of the ratio for cosine 21. And again, if you have a fraction button on your calculator, you can turn that into a fraction. Okay, so let's get into some actual calculations with triangles. So here's our angle here. So again, we've got cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Remember, CA. Okay, so this is theta, so cos 28 equals adjacent side. Okay, that's the side that we have because this is the hypotenuse. Here's the right angle. Across from the right angle is side x. So x is going to be on the bottom. 15 millimeters is on top. So because x is on the bottom, we have to swap these places here. So we're going to have to go 15 divided by the cosine of 28. So let's calculate the cosine of 28 first. Then we can copy it. And we can say 15 divided by that answer. And it gives us a hypotenuse length of 16.99 millimeters. Let's try a second one just like this. We're trying to solve for side ST here. Our angle is 47 degrees. So cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Theta is 47. In this case, we have the hypotenuse. This is the side opposite the right angle. So the hypotenuse is on the bottom, 14.6 miles. It's a very large triangle, and we're trying to find side ST on the top here. Because our unknown is on the top, we can just multiply these together. Find my calculator here. So now we need to do the cosine of 47. And we're going to times that by 14.6. No, just equals, thank you. And that gives us 9.96. So side ST is 9.96 miles. Right, that's what it said, 9.96, yep. Okay, 9.96 miles for that triangle. All right, last example here is a word problem. It says a steel worker attaches a 30-meter supporting cable. So let's draw it. We've got a cable that is going to a cellular tower. So let's say here's the tower here. The cable's going out this way. Here's going to be our angle because it says the angle that the cable makes with the ground is 70 degrees. And it says that the cable itself is 30 meters long. So that's going to be our hypotenuse. This is the ground here. What it wants to know is how far from the base of the tower the cable is attached. So this is what it wants to know. So again, cosine, CA, cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Cosine of 70, because that's our angle. This side is adjacent, so x over 30. Because x is on the top, we can multiply these together. So the cosine of 70, we're going to times that by 30, and we get 10.26 meters. Now this is a word problem, so we need to give it a word answer. So the distance from the pole that the cable is attached to is 10.26 meters. All right. Should be pretty simple if the previous videos made a lot of sense to you. If you were struggling with this stuff already, you're probably going to continue to struggle. So please make sure that you ask us questions. Ask your teachers questions, ask me questions, try and figure out what's going on here so that you can better work out what's going on with trigonometry. Next week, we're going to talk about solving for the angle when you know the sides of a triangle. Okay, so that's what's coming next week, as well as just solving an entire triangle with a couple of pieces of information. How can we find every side and every angle in that triangle? Okay, so I hope this video helps you understand the cosine ratio. Again, please ask your teachers for help if you need it. I will see you next week.